Come on, please. Yes! 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 Yes!
Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is episode number 49 of the 9 Dart Podcast, your one-stop shop for talking tungsten. We have a huge show for you today as we get close to hopefully not be too much of a drag by the time we get to the second half of the tournament.
No, you're right. Absolutely. Yeah, there's been one game that you'll definitely go on a tear about, and I will have to agree on that. But overall, yeah, I'll say it was a solid night. It was a solid night. Every game was pretty much 90 plus. There was a couple that were into the 104 sort of range, 105 range. So, no, it was a good night. And, we're saying hopefully it doesn't get too boring by the results shaping a certain way. But there was one man in particular who won the night, who is going to be one of the leading ones of the pack, I'd say, and he's one that we would sort of go, oh, would he be in the top four, maybe bottom-ish,
Well, here's the thing, Josh.
he's proved
Every
his
time
worth.
he's been in the league as a proper full-time campaigner, he's always made finals nights, and I'm kicking myself that I didn't have him in my four. Much like this happened in the ANZ Premier League last year too, when I didn't have who was the
Jonny
Jonny Tata. When I didn't have him in there, and after two nights, you're like, well, after a few nights, you're like, why didn't I do this?
I did.
I feel very similarly about the number one ranked Welshman, which we'll get to later. But so many 9 tarters. Let's start, and some of these are embedded, some of these are YouTube videos.
He has lost a final to go in Price. He's lost a couple of finals to Van Gogh, and he's lost 3 to Humphreys. They are the only 4 players who've beaten him in PDC finals. As Gian van Veen pops in a 180 and even catches the flight. I think Van Veen might have actually hit a 180, then caught the flight in the air. Yeah, he did. Plucked it out of the air. Has he got another trick? That's good. That's good. Crams another in there.
Hang on a minute. 2 years ago, it was Littler hitting one in the final. Is it Van Veen's turn? The fact is, he's going to have to hit it just to win the leg.
The perfection for a 9-darter in the final. Double 12, Gian van Veen! What a moment to hit your first big stage 9-darter! Gian van Veen standing up to lose Littler in a Euro Tour final. The first ever Euro Tour in Poland gets a final 9-darter from Gian van Veen.
It was in the start.
So
Pause that clip. There's 2 things I want to discuss about it before we go to the next clip. One, I was so worried when he took that step back for double 12, he was going to miss it. I was so worried because it was in such a flow state. And I'm like, oh, no. But he nailed it. And then number 2, I'm being right. Is that the earliest 9-dart leg he's like a new reference ever caught on the stage? The very first, because I said last week he'd be in the Poland dart, I was pretty sure at least, and he was. And is that the earliest time one could do it on the very first You're
here's
into a
the thing,
major
Josh.
tournament?
Nine
Like,
darters are more and more common on big stages, and there are more and more events as well. So like the legendary referees of the 80s and 90s like might have had one or two in their entire career on a big stage. I mean, I can't imagine you'd have to find someone in their like their very first big stage tournament. It's not a televised event as we know, an international televised event as we know, but it has to be. It like has to be from Old Biggs's perspective, and like it was so great to watch. And there's always, as we'll see with this one as well, when that first dart goes in Van Veen's case because he throws flat, lands
Very
right
flat,
on that
yeah.
bottom wire. You just stack on top of it. That's exactly where you want it. It's all about getting that first dart where you want it, and for everybody from Littler to Van Veen to Bunting to Anderson, when they get that first dart in, the other two just follow like just so easily. So that was one. Then we got
Well,
one.
you call it first start merchants.
Dawson's commentary was good. Our friends of
my
the show,
God.
and Dart Stream Live, who
Yes.
have
Great friends of the show.
message us on times and say they are the occasional listeners. Here we are, event 3 of the first 88. We'll get into the full results in the latest news. But Raymond Smith, and this went in a few different places.
Stop asking questions, Kate, and just enjoy it.
The commentary is
He's a
bananas.
hugely deep thinker about the game. Well, about life in general, actually.
180.
Whoop,
James-
here we go.
James Bailey doing the scoring.
Here
there
we
as well.
go.
James Bailey
Yeah.
was marking.
58.
Commentary here gets nuts.
Here we go. Here we go.
180.
Here we go.
He's going to fall off a chair soon. Please.
Come on.
And these two were the stars of the weekend.
Sorry, Brody. Come
sure.
on.
Absolutely.
60,
Here we go.
7, 24.
Here we go.
Hey,
Here we go. The night daughter.
Leek.
Raymond Smith, you little beauty.
So not only was that all in good fun.
Wow, that commentary.
The next
Oh my.
slide, it was on Channel 10 News Perth.
Absolutely, it was.
Which is extraordinary stuff. How often does Mandura get a little overlay, super overlay there in the top left? Whoopsie! I wanted. Oh no! Now I'm going the wrong way. Here we go. That's better. It's simply phenomenal. And Raymond said he just threatens to do these sort of things. And again, we talk about early, Josh. This is the full weekend of ADA action, and they're getting a 9 dart.
Yes.
So
Ridiculous.
as well, and as we mentioned in other places, having the full 128 players there for all 4 events as well is great to see.
Yep.
'Cause like the old, because of the way the factionalism was in the last few years between sort of the PDC affiliates and the WDF affiliates and the ADC affiliates as well, you'd be turning up to DPA events and they would only have like 60 some players. So it feels much more uniting to have 128 guys there. And
Absolutely.
the as mentioned on stream at one point, the rules of eligibility are Australian citizen or permanent residence in Australia. So that's more or less a qualification criteria for playing these ADA events. So there's a wide scope for anyone to show up. It was mentioned. I don't think Ben Robb was there on that weekend, as we might expect. It's Perth, like it's almost like here from where we are in Melbourne, it's like another country to get to Perth.
It is.
So the fact that they got a
That is
full
true.
set of players to get to Perth, which is or WA, it's Mandurah is actually a bit west of Perth. It's quite some distance away. So the fact they were able to get the full ones over there and get the guys from the Eastern Seaboard out here or out there, it was great. Great to see, great action. You look at like the averages for the tournaments, and hopefully things are starting to move after a few years where Australia slipped behind. Let's be honest, Asia and North America. We're starting to get in the right direction in the Oceanic region.
Yeah, we are. Well, especially having more qualification, the Premier League, the Grand Slam, all this sort of stuff that's been elevation in comparison to last year. So only more exposure for Aussie darts, which is great. I would love to have that dartboard surrounding the picture. That'd be so nice to have on my board. The ADA logo, Dart World, which I've been to a few times, Dart Stream Live, obviously. That'd be really cool to have. But what a 9 data, what a story.
That's superimposed, is it not? I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure. But like I said,
it looks good.
It's an actual
It looks good.
thing. It looks very nice. If it's an actual thing, that is. It does look superimposed, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is, but it still looks pretty good to have. something like that around this.
Be nice.
And yeah, as you were saying, Josh, so we'll talk about it later, but the international qualification for the World Cup, for the World Championship was announced overnight.
World Cup as well.
The NZ Premier League winner will go to the Grand Slam, which qualification for that's been confirmed. We don't have any dates for the ANZ Premier League as of yet, but I'm expecting and hoping that
me too.
that we'll see John Cain Arena in that rotation, and that we'll both be able to get to it for the second night in a row. You see, it's going to be like an annual thing. There was a story during the most recent Super Bowl of like 3 guys who's been to like all 60 of them. Is this going to be a thing like every time
60 of them? Oh my god!
You and I are going to be there.
Well, I'll be definitely there regardless, no doubt. Unless you got
again, Bunting takes out 164, but it won't matter because Luke Humphries might take out 170, which he does. A big old fish for Cool Hand.
Excellent stuff. And Damon Henner hit a 167 as well in his defeat. But he also took out a big finish. Now, we weren't done with the 9 darters, though. Let's go to Players Championship 5 occurring this morning. Chris Dobey, the most laid-back 9
looking to continue that form against Rapid Ricky Evans. The man with the brightest coloured shirt on tour, but Chris Dobey, bright in this game already, kicking off with a 180. I'm Dan McCarthy, and it's a warm welcome to Sam Mulliner to board 2. What should be a fascinating contest. Dobey will, of course, start as the favourite, but depending on what version of Ricky Evans turns up, could be a corker. However, Dobey, 6 perfect darts already.
Yeah, it might not matter. The mood that Chris Dobey is in so far today.
57 and 58, 1 for 1 for Dobey.
Players like Dobey,
bang.
The players that aren't here today,
bang.
As he now is eyeing the perfect leg of darts and does so. Incredible start from Chris Dobey. He's nailed the 9 in the opening leg of round 2.
But also no reaction at all. Just like easy as you like.
And we have to also mention Simon Whitlock over at the Modus. He's playing a Modus this week. So close to what Josh has done there on the left for our this doesn't work as well in audio as I go backwards again. On the left, Simon Whitlock, Smith started double 18, Modus, and then that also brought up memories for Josh of missing in very similar fashion in the first round match against Lithuania in 2022, the year they went on to win the cup. Maybe that shows good things. Maybe that shows that Simon's going to have a really strong week at Modus.
Well, he has so far.
Weekly final between father and son. We'll get to that towards the end of the podcast, but that could absolutely happen. This week at Portsmouth. So close for Simon Whitlock, missing double 18 for a 9 dart finish himself. 9 darters galore. Who knows where? Well, you put Littler up first, so we'll start with the nuke. Hasn't been a great start in the Premier League, as we know, but anyone who thought he was done, he's finished. He only went and did this at the weekend. 6-1 against Dedeker, 113. 6-2 against Ross Smith, 100. 6-1 against Josh Rock, 98.97. 7-3 against Dobey, 105.9. And 108 average, 8-4 over Gian van Veen. Well done for Van Veen and Smith getting within, and Dobey within 4 legs of the match. That's the closest anybody got.
I agree.
Averaging 100, 105, and 108. Yeah, just when you think Luke Littler might be in a little bit of trouble, he just turns it around and motors along. And it was like I was hoping to see at the Premier League, which we didn't really see at all, to be honest. That Littler was like, well, other people. They begin to talk about other people. Let me remind you why I'm the top dog.
Absolutely, no, he's not going away. That's for sure by any means. He was great. Yeah, there was people thinking, he's not winning much in the Premier League after 3 nights, but no, he comes out and does that every game in excess of 98. It's just ridiculous. He's just back to where he's been for the duration of since he was in the PT6. It's just ridiculous stuff. It was so good to watch.
Absolutely fantastic from the world number 1, and again just the way he puts these things away and doesn't give opponents much of a chance and does that on a consistent basis over a whole weekend's play was fantastic and very strong stuff. So Luke Littler once again winning on the European Tour. He does love it on the European Tour outside Germany.
He does.
And these different places have been definitely have been ones where he has cherish the opportunity. And now what it does for a lot of guys, and we'll get also to a few other guys in this category as well, is it means now that the pressure might be a little off getting to the European Championship if you make a deep run in one of these early events as well. So Van Veen. There are other guys. I also wanted to mention that Bunting and Rock both made quarterfinals. So the guys right at the bottom of the Premier League put in some strong performances at various points over the weekend. More so Rock, to be fair, that Bunting had a very nice performance against Jermaine Watamina, showing that they still have that confidence and that ability. And as long as they're getting wins, that's a net positive. Basically, none of the Premier League guys are at the Players Championship events this week because they've got to prepare for Thursday Premier League, and there's a media day on the Wednesday they have to attend. So I think those were big shout outs, and other guys like every round had like a good story. Like Crystal Rails keeps winning. Like he's been very good. He's been very good.
Yeah, absolutely. No, he's been great. He's definitely one to watch on the Pro Tour, no doubt. He's been very good. That Littler again, just too good. And that was actually the first installment of the Polish Darts Open as well.
Yes, so we've seen them working on the World Series, and you hope now we're going to see this. This is probably a conversation for another day because we have so many talking points. But that's the thing with the World Series I keep thinking about. Like, is there the possibility of like moving, of turning these, like making the Euro Tour a real international tour and playing events with these formats, with these names, and having qualifiers to get to Madison Square Garden, to get to Australia and New Zealand and the Middle East and everywhere else, and Africa. Hopefully, at some point we go back there and get Peter Vachuri on the PDC stage again.
Kelsey as well.
That's something to keep an eye on. But yes, that definitely worked. It was a strong event overall. Crowd was pretty good outside of perhaps a few idiots trying to distract Humphreys in his win
as
against
always.
Ratajski, but strong start to the European tour as one would expect, and that tour has been going from strength to strength basically for the last 15 years. It's been going. Jonny Clayton, again, like I should have picked him for my 4. I think he's going to make the 4 now, because it's just what he does.
It's early days, but it looks like it.
Early days, but this is what he does. He loves the Premier League stage. I think he said a couple of weeks ago it's his favourite tournament, or even might have been at night 3. There's something about that Premier League stage which really brings out the best in Jonny. So he played 3 games, 6-3 win, getting the win over Price was the big one, though, wasn't it, Josh? To finally get that cat off the back, so to speak, and get a win over someone who'd beaten him constantly the last several times.
Yeah, absolutely. His World Cup partner got over there, and then from there, he was very, very good. 6-1 over Littler in the semi-final, 101.3.
And that was just so dominant against Littler.
That was very dominant.
He was just putting everything away, not giving the nuke bunch of a chance. And then a win against Gian van Veen as well in the nightly final.
Absolutely. 6-2 in that 104 average. Yeah, he was very, very good. I'm pretty sure I picked him in my top 4. I'm pretty sure. So
I can't remember now, but I don't think I had. I think I had Jonny 5th, and I'm already in the.
I did maybe.
He's at the table, and boy, oh boy, does it look interesting. So Jonny Clayton's gone to 1st.
It's juicy, right?
Michael Engowen's only played 2 nights, but he's still in 2nd.
Because he pulled out, yeah.
Gian van Veen's up there as well. Gowan Price is in the 4. Both Luke still outside, and Bunting and Rock, for the bottom dwellers that they have been, have only lost 1 more game of darts in this Premier League than Luke Littler. Or Luke Littler's only won 1 more game of darts.
He only won 1, yeah.
The right way to put it. I want to ask you something, Josh, because this was being discussed during the week, and I noted this down on my whiteboard, even though I've immediately noticed I've got it the wrong way around. Because they had on the, I have to mention the online darts live lounge. I do it every week. But they had Lou Dog, the MC on the new MC on
yes,
during the week. And one thing he mentioned was the fact that in the Premier League in particular is a tournament where you're seeing a lot of the younger guys come through. So I wanted to ask you, I went in and I put this into the old, because Google doesn't give you much of a choice in the old Google AI, but it seemed pretty accurate to me. It should be roughly right. The average age of the 2006 Premier League lineup, I talked about the 2006 Premier League a few weeks ago with the Darts Archive, and the 2026 Premier League, and average age, what do you think they were? We'll start with this 2026 one, because these players you should know. What is the average age of the 2026 Premier League Darts lineup? The youngest is the oldest, Clayton.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Well, there's definitely a fair bit of youth. Obviously, Josh Rock is 22 or something. Gian van Veen as well. He's very young. And then you got MVG. Humphries. I reckon I'm going to go on the young side for sure. I reckon I'm going to go 25. Am I close?
Sort of. So I feel like the
might be too young.
There are a couple of plays. There are, I think, Goen and Stephen's definitely, Stephen famously is the same age of Cristiano Ronaldo, and Jonny Clayton's in his 50s. So the answer, according to the Google thing, was 29.9. But that feels a little bit more.
Wasn't too bad.
In this, or if Stephen or Goen, it would have been much closer to your thing. That's probably like the median, like the middle answer. But the average is skewed a little bit. In 2006, I won't even ask you to that one because you'll probably you probably don't even know half the players who are in that.
Well, what's the lineup?
The lineup at the time was, see if I can give them all: Phil Taylor, Raymond van Barneveld, Colin Lloyd, Wayne Mardle, Ronnie Baxter, Roland Sholton, and Peter Manley. They were the 7.
Wow, that's ball knowledge right there. Holy cow. 20 years ago.
That's 20 years ago.
Maybe like 46? I don't know.
You've over-indexed a while. 39.4 was the average age of 7 at the time, February 2006. Jeez. But as you can see, there's we've gone down 10 years in average age, pretty much 9.5. We'll call it 10. So things are definitely skewing younger, though. There's a few old guys in there that are perhaps it feels closer to what your answer is, but I think Johnny, Stephen, and Goen are moving it along a little bit. Johnny in particular, because he's
really take
older than everybody else.
Count them. Yeah, I was just thinking of young guys. I didn't really look at the whole age. But
I wanted to have a look at the I think is the middle. Someone just rang the doorbell at my place. Sorry. There is. I think that I'll get back to you with the median sort of thing because that's probably closer to your answer. Anyway, I just thought it was interesting that
it is
that's how much that's we talk a lot about the youth coming through and to the top level as well. It kind of shows you how it how it's changed in the last 20 years. The Premier League lineup average age has shrunk by 9.5 years, which I think
there you go. I agree. The youth is taking over, that's for sure.
Michael Smith bounced back so after he famously was that a European? Was that European Tour 1 or 2? Was I can't even remember what it was. It might have not had but he famously got quite upset about Mickey Mansell in a European 5 Michael Smith, and they exchanged some words. So he came through. So he didn't come through the qualifier, but he did come through the weekend, getting to a quarterfinal. So well done.
That's impressive.
Very much is a positive surprise, and it's good to see Michael Smith back on the stage and winning matches as well.
No, I agree. No, definitely a positive surprise. And come in as a replacement as well to be able to go then to a quarterfinal, win a lot of matches. It's good. He got his chance, right? And then he just took it with both hands and went pretty far, which is good. It's good to see Bully Boy doing well. We want to see him doing well. And he's obviously had a few pains in his shoulder, his foot when he's throwing as well. So he's been through a lot the last little while, and it's good to see him in some decent form for that tournament, no doubt.
Now I'm gonna link these two together. They might not seem initially linked together, but I'm gonna try and do it. Michael van Goen did not play at the Glasgow Premier League night. Now, this was actually forecast by Vincent van der Voort on his podcast, literally the morning after we recorded ours. And that was the first thing that greeted me in my Darts news on the morning. It was Vincent van der Voort says Michael van Goen, I think that it was, I'm not sure what the wording exactly was, but it was like not certain, not a guarantee to play in Glasgow, 50-50 chance. And he did pull out. Luke Littler got a walk over, and he also pulled out along with Goen Price of the Poland Euro Tour, which brings us to this week's edition of the Volcano.
Here we go.
Josh need to do much better at working out how they're going about replacing guys. So in the case of the Premier League, there used to be in the old days, well before you and I were even thinking of doing a darts podcast.
Oh yeah.
When the Premier League was on, if a player had to miss a night, because it was a round robin basically system, you could get someone who could play twice, and then a few nights later, that player who played twice had the night off, and the guy who missed the night would play twice then, and everything would line back up again. But you can't you can sort of do that, but you can't really do that in this format. So they're left to just give the guy a bye, and the guys who and everyone who bought their tickets expecting 7 darts matches only get the 6. And it's amazing to me how, we have all these players and how many of them want to be in the Premier League. How they don't even try and even think about finding a one-off guy who can come in, even if it's like a match at the start of the night. Imagine how awesome it would be and you could do this in a very fun way where you don't even tell everybody. So, all right, everybody, exhibition match coming up. Luke Littler come onto the stage. You're through to the semi-final because Van Gogh's not playing. But we're going to give you for a one-night only Premier League showdown. And in comes John
Taylor.
House of Pain. It's Gary Anderson walks onto the stage for a one-night return in a non-play match or as part of the bracket. And if he wins his match, he advances like we do everywhere else. It feels like there is a possibility he do something and the PC just take the easy answer and go, no, we're just going to let them through. And they do the same thing on the European tour. So when Van Gogh and Price pulled out, they gave the alternative spots to Michael Smith and somebody else who I can't remember right now. But they were guys who failed to make it through the qualifier. So why are they getting put in the second round when you had a bunch of guys, 16 of them exactly, and Damon Heta was actually the highest ranked of these guys, who were automatically put in the first round? Now, this would be fine to do what they did if there wasn't like a bye structure where guys get automatically put in the second round. In that case, what should have happened there, Josh, is so Michael Van Gogh pulls out. We'll just use him as the example. He was the highest. Because he was higher than Price in seeding. So we take him out. We move Damon Heta, who was the highest ranked player at the cutoff, who wasn't a seed. We put him into the Michael Van Gerwen spot. And then we put Michael Smith in the spot that was made free by Damon Heta. And then we do the same all the way around. That feels like to me like the easy and obvious way to do this. So Damon Heta becomes effectively 4 seed for this one-off thing. Michael Smith comes in as the alternate, and you would have done the same when Gerwen Price pulled out as well with whoever was the 18th highest ranked guy at the cutoff. That feels like to me like the much more simple and way to do it, and you wouldn't need to redo the draw and that sort of thing and make that confusing. That'd be a really simple way to do it. But instead, no, we're just going to throw Michael Smith, and this isn't a go at Michael Smith. He played great at the weekend. I'm happy to see him
absolutely.
And get to a final session on a European tour. But he shouldn't have been put in the second round because he didn't earn that spot to get in the second round. There were guys who lost in the first round who are higher ranked and more deserving of being seeded in the second round than Michael Smith a la February 2026. So it feels like there's some very easy things here that the PC could do that wouldn't be too difficult, but I don't understand why they didn't do them. The other thing, Josh, and I've been thinking about this through the week, I don't know. I'm assuming that Michael Van Gerwen's going to show up for his next Premier League night. But imagine he misses the next Premier League night, then the next one, then the next one, then the next one. By the time he's fully back, there's like 6 nights to go, and he's already hopelessly out of playoff race. And like, I can't be bothered showing up. I'd rather focus on European tours, and because he's defending a lot of ranking money, as we know, about 70% of his ranking money going into the start of the year. So what happens now with like every night, like guys are going to be missing out on 1 matches? If that happens, do we now decide? Okay, now we'll put in a challenger. Like, how's that going to work? In 2009, I think it was, Wayne Mardell missed 3 nights in a row, and they excluded him from the Premier League under the tournament rules at the time. I'm not sure if that still applies now. Things have very much changed in 20 years, the average age of the Premier League lineup, Josh, has dropped 9.5 years. I don't know if you know that. So I feel like there's some easy pathway to at least give us a more fair system, or even a more interesting if say that Littler Anderson match was an exhibition thing that, or you get Mitch Laurie up on the stage or somebody, or get Joe off the
oh my god, could you imagine
in a 1 leg shootout sort of thing, or in a 9-dart challenge? Give me something a little bit extra and a little bit different, rather than just throwing Luke Littler on, having to wait until the 5th match of the night, the second semi-final, before we even get to see him. And exactly. And he bombs out 6-1 and he goes back home. Like, there's more possible. There's more dreams of possibilities here, and I think it'd be so cool to have on the on occasion to have seen Gary Anderson or Peter Wright or Cameron Menzies.
That'd be so
because it was in Scotland, so you'd want to have a Scottish player. Somebody come up there, Alan Suter. who's been playing very nicely on the floor, by the way.
Agree.
To have someone a little bit different come up there on the stage for a one-night only Premier League appearance. But they don't do it. I don't understand why they don't do it, Josh.
No, well, I've got more things on this. For the people who are paying the money, right, you're getting one less game for your value of your admission. And number two, if you want to see MBG and that's your favourite player and you've come from X amount of way to see him in particular and he pulls out, then you'd be pretty upset. But if you had something some sort of exhibition for that, whatever it is to fill it, then you feel a bit better. But
this is a thing like
having nothing. It's disappointing. Yeah,
I don't follow much basketball as well, but it's like this has been a conversation in the NBA for like 10 years, and the load management and that sort of thing. Now, the NBA thing, it's easy. Like it's an 82 game season; it could easily be about 60, cut off 20 games, but they won't do it. But so that one's easy. This one's a little bit different because like Monthly Going was genuinely not up, so that's fine. But you think a lot of these venues like Ireland, Northern Ireland, Wales, they only get the one night in PDC darts. So if you've got one chance to see your one favourite player and he misses it, you might not get another go for another 12 months, and then you might not be selected for the next Premier League. So it's very, very difficult. And as we will get to in a moment, Josh, it's getting harder to get to darts events in PDC because the tickets just go like that.
No, exactly. Well, I think there was the Challenger back in like 2020, and then we had
2019 and 2020, Josh.
Willie O'Connor come on and his zombie walk. That was spine tingling sort of stuff. That was incredible.
Ones in there was John Henderson in Aberdeen in 2019 and in 2020, to be fair, and William O'Connor in Dublin. So yes,
that was incredible.
Those were excellent. And a spoiler.
I still listen to it here and then.
I teased last week that next week I'll be doing a Premier League format. We might be hearing a little more about the challenges. I might be bringing them back. Premier League format unveiling next week. That will be our great debate next week.
Is this episode 50?
For episode 50, is this a good Premier League format? I think it marriages everything together that we want. But
love it.
Yeah, so a challenger-like thing is the exact thing that they should be doing. And when Wayne Marder pulled out of that 2009 Premier League, they had a bunch of players, ironically including Gary Anderson, play like these non-challenge, like these non-point playing matches to fill out the night. So they've done it before, but I don't know why the PDC don't do it again. I don't understand why they keep sticking with this format that nobody likes. Like every player, every broadcaster keeps saying we'd like to see something different with the Premier League format, and they don't do it. So peculiar decisions all around.
Frustrating. Yeah, I agree. You've got a big flop for this week. Yes, you've got a big flop.
I thought we were going to get into the match play. We won't do that yet. But yeah, James Wade had a bit of a stinker on. He was clearly the worst of the Seeds performances. Even other guys who lost weren't as bad as James Wade. Plenty of I think it was that Saturday afternoon session. Plenty of 6-0s in that second round.
Yeah.
But, big shout out as well. I wanted to say this as much as big shout out Cameron Menzies for for getting himself going and winning a couple of matches. He lost 6-1 in the third round, but getting himself going and putting in some strong performances as well. So as much this was a bit of a flop from James Wade not putting in those the James Wade performances that we'd seen like the last few months, even the last few weeks. Well done, Cameron Menzies, for getting some wins on the board.
Yeah, great. Kudos. Yeah, he's had some troubles, as we've documented a lot, but to be able to sort of, turn around away and to beat Ed House and Wade was good quality performances, 95, 99 averages respectively. That was very impressive.
So now we get into the World Matchplay, because the tickets went on sale this week, Josh, and they were snapped up pretty quickly. Those were the dates and the prices on the screen for the visual listener. We'll go from the 18th, to the 26th of July. We talk a lot about the World Championship with the Ali Pally, and now it's moving into the big room. It's only about 2,000 seats from what I've read. Maybe there's a few more that could squeeze into that Emperor's Ballroom of the Gardens, Blackpool. We all love it. It's an iconic,
beautiful venue.
It's absolutely gorgeous, but
stunning.
Are we going to get to a point where we say, sorry, Blackpool, like you're amazing, but we could sell out bigger venues? Or is there something else we could do?
There's every chance. Well, if that is the case, the last part of your answer, what could we do? Do you have any ideas for that to try and increase the venue size? Because
the only thing I could see
look,
you do, the only
there's
thing,
table and then balcony / standing on the ticket on screen for the visual listeners.
The only reasonable thing I think you could do is to expand the field from like 32 to 48, because it's always been with 1 year. It's always been a 32, and it would make sense as well. Like, you think the World Championship has increasingly gone up and up: 24, 32, 48, 64, 70, 68, 72, 96, 1 to 8. But the World Matchplay has always stayed in this same format. So there is an argument that with the World Championship having increased, you increase the World Matchplay. There's also the chance of, providing more increase the women's World Matchplay as well and give them another session. So if you did that, I think you could get an extra 5 sessions. I'm not sure if that would really, so that's like another 10,000 tickets, maybe a little bit more. I'm not sure if that helps a ton, but it's like the only thing you can do outside of moving the venue. And you've got to have something in the north of England, because everything else is sort of crammed there. Is the Winter Garden just too iconic to move? And I know the PDC, when asked, they're very hesitant to move it away because they know that it's more important to this venue than this tournament and this venue is more important together than even the World Championship at Alexandra Palace.
Yeah, well, it depends how much do you value history and tradition over money and crowd size, I think, in the end, ultimately.
But it's also about, keeping people happy, Josh, that they have the ability to go to the darts tournament. It's if people feel like they're no hope, then less people will sign up for PDC TV, and one of the benefits of that is to get early access to tickets, that sort of thing. So it's a real tough one. There's no easy answer around it, because the other thing is we've seen tournaments move away from historic venues. The Grand Prix moved away from the City West in Dublin. Now, they had to, because that was being used as a COVID quarantine, and I think it's currently still housing Ukrainian refugees. So they can't use the City West. The Civic Hall in Wolverhampton, which had the Grand Prix, they moved it to the other venue in Wolverhampton, which is not very good. So we've seen venues sort of lose some of that prestige as well. So, but I'm generally unsure because like there will be a point where it's like, can we really keep doing this? But then the answer is like, can we find something that's still gonna link to the World Matchplay and the sort of history, and you want it in a nice, old looking but still very stunning to look at sort of room. So other than, I think the only thing you can generally do, and there's probably a good argument that I just made with the World Championship, is to increase the number of players and get in a few more sessions. That's generally like other than moving, it's the only thing I think you can do.
Yeah, and well, obviously you give more fans to get tickets, you get more opportunity, because again, they get snapped up so quickly. As you can see, there's only X amount of sessions, and it's only Sunday. So if you had more, you could add an extra maybe 3 sessions there, 2 sessions even. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you could, if you expand to like 48, you could have an extra. You'd have an extra round basically, which would get you another 4. If you add an extra women's World Matchplay session, that gets you to an extra 5. So I think you could do an extra 5 within, and start on a Friday instead of a Saturday as well, a Friday afternoon.
Yeah, that's a good point. Good point.
The other thing, though, is that Friday and Saturday afternoon, if we're doing it in a proper seeding fashion, the top 16 won't be there. So there'll be no Lukes, no Van Goghens, Van Veens, no Buntings, no Prices, which changes things. My voice is really going here, Josh. I need you to start talking a bit more.
There you go. No, you're very spot on. Very spot on. That's a debate that will keep going on for a long, long while, and the PDC needs to act on it to keep the fans happy, to keep tradition intact. So it need to come to some sort of happy medium in the end, I think.
Yeah. The only venue I can think of immediately that has like that old looking and very nice to look at sort of infrastructure or architecture is the Royal Albert Hall, but that's in London.
Yeah, that's in London. Yeah.
So we don't need like another event. And London's already got the Premier League.
We've already got LA Pally as well.
And are we really having all 3 in the one place and in the south as well? So you got to have something a bit more north. The Blackpool gives that, and it's also summertime by the beach. So you need that gives it its own unique feel. But I think at some point they're gonna have to try and do something. because you can't really.
Yeah.
You're not exactly. I'm pretty sure it's a heritage listed building. You can't exactly knock it down and make more space.
That's true.
I think we can generally see them increase to 48 because that might generally be the only thing they can do.
It's a good idea.
Maybe
Dan Dawson and all, if you're listening, Matt Porter.
We can have the first 16 in from
the
last 48 rounds. Maybe that might genuinely be the only thing they can do.
Take notes, fellas. Now, another future star. Well, it's the same future star every week. This guy, Mitch Lowry, is now the WDF #1, the World Dart Federation, that is, sitting top there, 7.56, the #1 from Scotland. He's just remarkable. It seems
is this
every
good
single
for the
week.
WDF, the fact that someone this young, and Jensen Walker's their #2, who we know is on the younger side as well. Is this good for the WDF, given now that these two younger guys who haven't been in their system for very long have already shot past guys like Leonard Gates and Jason Brandon and Alex Spellman and Neil Duff and Jeff Smith around forever?
Yeah. Oh, well, it's interesting because the WDF and the PDC, you want to promote the youth. That's why we've got all these youth pathways. That's why we have also pro tours and youth events and giving them exposure on these big stages, like as a sort of curtain raiser sort of thing. So I think it is a good thing, but it just depends on how much youth do you put in. But if you have someone of the caliber of Mitchell Lowry who's beating men every single week in every single tournament, it's like, is it a good thing? I don't know. But regardless, we're just watching an absolute star in the making, and we can't wait to see him on the PDC circuit fairly soon, I'd say. But he just keeps winning every single week, and he's very similar to Luke Lillard. He just wants to keep winning more and more tournaments and winning multiple of them as well.
Yeah,
you know?
he's got a bit of that character of swagger of he knows his confidence and he knows it. We don't have one that's sort of like that a ton on the PDC a little bit, as Go and Price has sort of gone off that a little bit, and that's not a dig at anyone. Eric Bristow was like that, but Eric Bristow was naturally like that. You can force it, but it won't come off as good as if you force it. Like someone like Luke Humphreys will never be as antagonistic to Littler as Bristow was to Taylor, because that's not who Humphrey is as a person, which is fine. Everyone's it's probably how I would operate, but or try to operate. So maybe Mitchell Lowry might give you a little something a bit different if he ever gets on. Or it's more like if at this point when he gets on the on the PDC circuit. You feel like that's going to happen sooner rather than later. Players Championship 5. So Players Championship 6 is happening tomorrow. It'll probably be after the time we actually put it up as the order only, but before we put it up on YouTube. Ross Smith won Players Championship 5 though, Josh.
He did, yes. He won this morning, and his run is on the right-hand side for our watchers on YouTube. 6-3 against Justin Hood. Good to see him back. 95 average there. 6-3 against Cord Decker. 103.19 average. 6-1 against Bully Boys we talked about earlier. He was good to get to be close. 106 average. 6-2 in the top 16 against Nico Springer. Again, another star to watch. 93 average. 6-3 against Dave Chisnell in the quarterfinals, 97 average.
Chisnell's made a quarterfinal there. His action just looks all.
He's good. He has been a bit all over the shop on the floor, but he seems to spike here and there. That's for sure. Move on to the semi-finals. Carl Sedlacek making a semi. That's good. That's very, very good for him. 7-4, 96 average, and then 8-2 in the final against Chris Dobey, 104. So a very dominant final there, and he picks up his first Players Championship for the year. So we've had a few different winners. So we had Wade, had Nineman, Dobey won one, Ross Smith won one, and there was someone else.
Luke Humphreys.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. That was pretty good. So, and he had a comment post game on the next slide, and he said for the his listeners, I know that anyone who plays me is going to have to play really well to beat me, and that's what it's all about. So again, he knows when he's on song, and he has that element of confidence to really have a great game. Like we've watched this guy for long enough. We know that he's an incredible 180 hitter, and when he needs to find the treble at big times, more or less, he's able to find that. So to have a really good run, like if you go back on the other side slide, he has played some really good opponents in the lead up. So obviously you had a lot of high profile players from the Premier League and whatnot who pulled out, but you still look at who he played, Justin Hood, obviously that magical world LEV run, Michael Smith, Nico Springer, Chizzy, Dobey, like they're all more or less pretty good players, especially Dobey, who obviously Premier League last year and not this year, I'm afraid. But yeah, pretty good results. And yeah, he had a great day out, that's for sure.
So the ADA occurred over the weekend as well. We saw the
yes
news as well after Raymond Smith. Cullen's Memorial Trophy on offer, and on event one,
yes.
Brody Kling taking the first title. James Bailey making his way through to the final. The scores are on the screens for our YouTube viewers. Event 2 was won by Brody Kling as Darren Penhall, someone who looked like he was going to walk away from darts a couple of years ago, was he not, after that World Championship? He was back at it over the weekend. Raymond Smith beat Anthony Sherv in the Event 3 final. And then Michael Bajaski was Raymond Smith's opponent in the set play Event 4. So these are the standings. Smith and Kling battling at the top there, head Bajaski, Sherv, and Bailey. Penhall and Tim Pusey and Joe Comito just outside the top 5.
Rankings.
Strong start for the ADA, Josh. Strong start, and already Smith picking up where he left off a lot of last year in the ADA, and that's winning things and making runs and things. And Brody Kling,
absolutely,
to an extent, even though he was more TPA side of things, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, true. But obviously, both featured in the ANZ Premier League. But overall, yeah, very, very solid start to the ADA tour. We've got so many to go across the nation over the next few months at least. So great to see. Yeah, and also to have guys who we haven't heard of much on the ADO side or just anywhere really, like come out like Darren Penhall for sure, Andrew Shreve, and who else? Michael Bajelski as well. Just having interesting names or ones we heard of in the past or new names come, which is great. But yeah, obviously Kling and Smith were the standouts, winning 2 events each from the weekend, but a very solid start. And just look across the numbers as well. They're very competitive, very, very competitive. Had games more in the sort of mid to high 80s. You had one that was in the 100 average-wise in Event 3. Raymond had 103 average against Brody Kling. It's a whitewash in that one. So some very good stuff. 6-1 against Danny Porter, top 32 Event 3 as well, 99 average. So there's some really good stuff. Very consistent, but also a few pegs and some really good performances. But Raymond Smith just continues to be the top standard, and Brody Kling joining on the party as well, winning those 2 events. So a good first weekend for the ADA, and just setting the tone for hopefully a great year on the circuit.
Absolutely. The next event is in Canberra, I think, in the middle of March as well, if I remember
ACT
correctly. We already mentioned him a little bit with the Van Veen data, but Owen Binks made his debut on the big PDC stage, and he got a new nickname from a Swiss as well. Jar Jar apparently was
look at his face on the left side. Oh, that's great. That is great. So for those who don't know what Jar Jar Binks is, it's someone from Star Wars, I'm pretty sure. So that's so funny. Just his face when he got the introduction was hilarious. But it's interesting because usually referees don't get an intro. So it was funny that on this event that they gave him, but obviously I guess given that he's brand new into the PDC circuit, that made sense. But very, very funny.
And John McDonald did do it like in the early days of the Premier League, like that 2006 night I talked about a few weeks ago, and he did it before the World Championship final. He mentioned the markers by name, and he mentioned the referee as well. I feel like that's something
interesting.
I think the MCs at darts events should try and do for every match. Let us know who's in charge.
Yeah, I agree.
And particularly the referee as well, who's so important as well. And the darts referee is always great characters, so always find interested. And I kind of want to know, because it never gets made.
We love Binksy,
but I kind of want to know when we lead into a World Matchplay who are specifically the guys who are going to be there. Is there a publicly available roster like there is in other sports? I don't think there is.
Yeah, great.
For sure. Definitely. That was definitely the appropriate time to do it with his first event. And yeah, I'll be sticking to Binksy as his nickname, for maybe Jar Jar John in the years to come.
Quite funny,
at
though.
Play Championship 5, Adam Leek, the Aussie, is on the board.
Yes.
He missed, we've been talking, me and Josh, on and off air about Leek trying to get that first win. He beat Joe Hunt, who is not even a tool card holder, but it doesn't matter. It's ranking money. He's on the board, 6-5 win, and a 14 and a 17 darter off the back in.
Yeah, some great
match from both operators. And so Adam Leek finally gets on. At one point, Josh turned around to me at one point, and we was looking at dartsranking.com, and was like, where's Adam Leek? And I'm like, he's not on there because he hasn't won any money yet, Josh, but he's on the board there.
Now he is.
Equal 136 with 1,250 pounds.
Still crying out to have him on a stream board, please. I was saying in the comment chain last night, I had a guy, Delta from the Dolphin Underleaguer, actually replied to my comment on Instagram DMs yesterday, and it's like, please get him on stream board. Like, come on, PDC. Like, you need to have exposure for these new tour card holders to be on these stream boards. So come on, it's only fair he gets a crack. But I mean, look, if he goes in and wins a couple of games, he'll have to eventually get on that stream board. But just for the first game, at least, it'd be nice. You know, a man from Adelaide. Come on, PDC, do better.
But well done, Leek. He's on the board, one of 136. This also means that Australia now has 2 players on the order of merit when it comes to the World Cup of Darts seeding.
They do.
Ranking.com, after being sitting on 2025 for most of the last, since the end of the tournament to last week. They finally got this up. So England, Netherlands, Wales, and Northern Ireland, the top 4. Currently, Scotland going to have to go through the group stage of the World Cup of Darts with presumably Anderson and Menzies. Australia now go up to world at the 13th seed and are within touching distance if Leek can win a few more games, potentially going up as high as maybe 11 ahead of Czechia and Austria. So, as I was saying to Josh yesterday, when you really think about it, because they're pulling out of the same pool of players, the seedings don't mean like 13 versus 11. There isn't a ton of difference, but it's still nice to have a smaller number next to your name. So Australia 13 in the World Cup of Darts race, which will conclude in at the end of May before that tournament. Speaking of which, and hopefully this pops up, for some reason now, Brendan Dolan and Mickey Mansell on the PC website and on the Dial Counter, their accounts, have now got the Republic of Ireland flag and not the Northern Ireland one. So I didn't know this was the thing you're allowed to do. Maybe the 2 highest ranked Englishmen who aren't the Lukes are currently James Wade and Stephen Bunting, I think. Maybe they should change to Bahrain or something so they can have a go at the World Cup of Darts. Is this going to be a loophole we're going to have now, guys?
Be a loophole.
So what this means now is that
that's great.
Dolan is now slated, if this is how this works, and there might genuinely be a genuine reason why they've changed. I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
But if this is what it is, Dolan's now in position to play for the Republic of Ireland at the World Cup of Darts because he's higher ranked than, I think, King Barry. He would join Mickey Mansell. And I don't think this has ever happened before. Has anyone ever played the World Cup of Darts for 2 countries over the course of their time? It's happened quite a few times, famously in a test cricket, someone's played for Australia and England, or that sort of thing. I think they're pretty sure there is a Wikipedia list of players who've played test cricket for 2 nations. But I don't think it's ever happened at the World Cup of Darts. It might happen at this very tournament, Josh, if they allow Brendan Dolan to play for Ireland.
That's funny. That's so funny. Well, who knows? We'll keep tabs on it.
If Mickey Mansell plays in the World Cup of Darts, oh my goodness. We already had enough slow players from Asia last year.
Bro, Mickey Mantle's on an absolute tear at the moment. He's been giving more comments to guys saying he had a crap week on the Pro Tour, and he's like, the same thing as trying to get in a boxing match type stuff. He's on an absolute tear at the moment. Anyway, that'd be funny.
Anyway, before I do want to mention this, Players Championship 6th is tomorrow.
Yes,
that'll be the cut-off for the UK Open. So the top, 65 to 96 go straight into the second round, and 33 to 64 go into the third round, and then the top 32 go into the fourth round. And then we know it's an open draw from the fourth round onwards.
Yes,
my voice is not good at the moment. I'm sorry, but the point is that it's very close in those spots. Bo Greaves is currently in position to play in the second round, which is also guaranteed money as well.
That is good.
And so she's currently in that position. Currently, Peter Wright is not in the fourth round. He's going to have to play on the Friday afternoon in Minehead for the first time in who knows how long. And currently, Carl Sedlacek is very narrowly up on Rob Owen for 64. Bahada, just in that 63rd position as well. So this is one to keep an eye on for Players Championship 6 if you're watching this before it happens. Because right now it is very close, that race between those races for those spots. And it could be important at the UK Open if you get a really good, someone off the Challenge Tour or amateur qualifier, you might have a tough chore to get out of the first round when you were this close for getting into the second automatically.
Yeah, nuts. Well, it's going to be very close. And Players Championship 6 tomorrow, that'll be very, very interesting to see who gets the top 64. If Owen can make a little bit of a run and go up against Sedlacek, you just never know. But very interesting. We'll keep tabs of that. UK Open races ahead of us.
Huge if this does happen.
Oh, my God.
Josh. So the darts the last few years has been in like I think it's called the theatre at Madison Square Gardens. But Barry Hearn, in true Barry Hearn fashion, it just dropped out of nowhere, probably ruining all the PC social media plans of announcing it properly, that darts could be moving into the 19,500 seat main arena at Madison Square Gardens, Josh. That is one of the most iconic places that have ever played. Oh, yeah. So many great sporting moments have happened in basketball and ice hockey. So many great musicians have played there. Billy Joel played like more than 100 times, I think, in that room and sold out every time. So there is so much history that goes in the place. And if darts goes in there, Josh, then look out. Winter
That's a
Gardens,
statement right there.
Wynn Entertainment Centre, Wollongong. Like, why are you getting a spot on the darts calendar alongside the iconic Madison Square Gardens main room? So this would be huge.
MCG, come on now.
Huge for darts in the US. As the CDC tries to continue to grow it in that area of the world. That would be massive, Josh, if we got darts into the main room at Madison Square Garden with all that history.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the text on the thing there, Barry Hearn revealed that 6,000 tickets were snapped up on the opening day of sales for the World Series event. That just shows the growing popularity of darts in the US. Absolutely. On stage, main arena, 9.5k fans. Hearn says the numbers prove darts is ready to go bigger in the United States, which I wholeheartedly agree with. When we had the chat to Owen Binks in the Premier League night 1, he was saying that we want to get darts bigger in the UK in the US rather, and other territories, and it's proved right. If we can go to 19.5k, that is absolutely ridiculous. But we'll see how we go. Hopefully we can. Could you imagine seeing it on the TV of all the fans and there's a 9 darter that was hit there, all the fans going absolutely ballistic? That'd be incredible viewing.
It probably wouldn't have, with the way the setup is, it would probably be a little bit under that.
It'd be under it. What, maybe 15? I don't know. No idea.
Maybe we're close to about 17, but it would be awesome. And it would be
so good
if that room that's held so much iconic musicians and sporting moments could have that happening there, right there in New York. It's as iconic. It's an indoor sports venue as there is. Like outdoor sports venues, you got Wembley, you got the MCG here, but for indoor sports venues, they don't really come any bigger than MSG. So that would be huge. Also huge, we do have this is as what we've got for the 2027 World Darts Championship coming at the end of the year and the start of the next. Very similar to last year. Guaranteed as well that TBC, no DPA. We're going to have a new Australia-New Zealand qualifier, which will basically, like the old Oceanic Masters, 2 spots TBC at the moment, so keep an eye on those. They could easily just morph into tour card holder qualifier spots, but hopefully it's something a little bit different. I still think the 4th spot on the Challenge Tour should get a spot as well. But the huge one, Josh, and we were big on it at the time, confirmation, 2 spots for Africa.
Yes, exactly. How good is that? We got the Northern African qualifier and the Southern Africa qualifier and African darts group there. So that's great. Could we see Peter and Shuri again? Oh, wow. Wouldn't that be something?
They're both from Kenya, so they actually can't. I'm pretty sure they won't be able to both qualify because they'll both have to be in one qualifier, not either of them. So that actually can't happen now. Oh no, that's awful.
Oh no, actually, well, it is. Under where it says DPNZ Pro Tour winner, there's a little to be confirmed New Zealand qualifier. Do you know what that is?
That'll be a one-off tournament akin to the Oceanic Masters that Gordon Mathers won a few years ago. There. There's no official news on that, but that'll be something. We don't know what it is yet. But I will be refreshing like the ADA Facebook page and other places
will.
for information on that and the dates for the ANZ Premier League, which is also there confirmed.
Oh, yes.
Back for a huge second edition after a good first edition, and with the Grand Slam spot also on the line. I will say that for me, the 2 TBC spots should go to a second spot for the CDLC, so that's Caribbean, Latin America, and the 4th place on the Challenge Tour. Because effectively, the Women's Tour and the Development Tour have a 4th spot effectively, but the Challenge Tour, which is more wide open because it's not restricted to age or gender, doesn't have a 4th spot. So I think that's where I would put the other 2 spots. We'll see what the PDC does. They had that 1 spot TBC like all of last year, and then it just became a 5th spot at the qualifier. Who knows if they're going to have like a seniors thing or a weird, anybody could show up and win a game qualifier in.
I'll show up.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be all around the world. Maybe they can get it on Dark Connect as well, and that can be so you can play from home in a World Championship qualifier. That would be awesome. You and I. If that actually happened, you and I, we'd have no chance of qualifying for it, but we would absolutely play in like the local edition, the Australian edition, and
of course,
just to play in that moment. That would be awesome. That won't happen, I don't think. It'd be cool if it did, though.
We're still planning on going to Melbourne for the ADA in Melbourne, right? We're still planning on going there with our 50 average.
I penciled that down as something I might do. I haven't we'll see. Like Josh, I don't know what I'm doing next week, let alone in a few weeks' time.
That's fair. Well, I was actually looking through the averages on Dark Connect. There was actually a few around the sort of 50-60 region. I mean, early, obviously, but I'm like, I could scrape through a win if there's a couple in that average mark. I don't know. We'll find out.
Spot's still open, Josh. Are you slowly telling me you're going to be playing on one of the days?
Well, we'll see about the Darts Down Under fixture in just a moment if I'm worthy enough. But we have Modus news.
Know this because my voice is still really shoddy.
Yeah, I got you. Don't worry. So yes, we had week 5 of Series 13 of Modus. This was the finals night breakdown. Graham Hall was the Group A winner. Mike Warburton, Sam Spybeard, Butch Devine was B, and Alex Williams and Justin Smith made up the 6th for finals night. And the winner coming from Group A was Graham Hall. He won it in a 4-2 clash with Alex Williams in the end, and he had a 91 average, 1 maximum, and 30.77% on the doubles. So finished on double 16 and had a good night. So he is the 5th person to Champions Night. And now this week we have Simon and Mason, as we alluded to earlier. They are just headlining it. Mason has hit a 9 data on this stage, and it still remains 1-0 because Simon could not, unfortunately, peg that double 18 last night, I'm afraid. So unfortunate not to be, but maybe throughout the rest of this week that will have, if he gets the finals night and qualifies for whatever group he comes through, maybe he will get one to level that up. But Alex Small, Danny Lauby, Ron Muhlenkamp, Annie Davidson, George Monios, Scott Taylor, Reese Robinson, Joe Mernon, Matt Dennett, and Adam Whitspear are the remaining names of that. We have Group A table for you. Ron Muhlenkamp currently leads that on 18 points with a 9-1 record. Our man Whitlock 8-2 on 16 points just behind him, and Alex Small 5-5 on 10 points rounds out the top 3. And there are weekly winners after week 5. Steve Green, Kunu Van Velzen, Rodek Zagansky, Derek Coulson, and Graham Hall with 7 weeks to go. We also played a game yesterday.
Just quickly, Josh, can I just ask a clarifying question?
Sorry, of course.
Adam, I'll go back to the Group A table. What are the spots that get through to Group B? Is it 2, 3, and?
Oh, as in from that 6. Oh yeah, so the top one goes to Group A. 2 go to Group B, and 3 go to Group C. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so we want if we don't get through, we want him in finish 2 or 3, and that way he can play Mason. That's what we want, right?
Yeah, true. I'm pretty sure that's right. So there you go. So that's the Modus news for the week.
This was our match, a 51 average from Josh. Mine was actually over 40 most of the way, but those 2 missed darts at double where I was 73 out. I missed inside of double 8, and then
you did
get close on double 4, hit the middle of double 18 and bust my score. So I did hit a 1-2-5 along the way, which was nice. The problem with you, Josh, now is that these games are no longer competitive because you can now finish legs in like 30 darts, and I still can't get close to finishing anything like less than like 34. So I'm doing 12 visits to get rid of my 501 on a consistent basis, and you're up now at like 10 visits now. So these matches are becoming fairly pedestrian for you.
Well, anything around the 22, 25 mark, I'm pretty happy with. So if you look on the far side, there's a 3-odd average. I started pretty well. I was averaging sort of 55 by the second leg, and they had a few missed doubles that went a bit kaput. But reasonably happy with that performance. Not too bad at all.
But this is what happened in the Darts Down Under League, though.
Good grief. Another day, another loss for me. It was sorry.
That's 6-3 up there, Josh, but it was actually 6-1 according to the graphic. There we go. He's changing it now live.
There we go. Sorry, that was from last week. 6-1 loss, another loss for me. 53 average. I had my chances on the doubles, but could not execute. My best leg was 26. Had a 140 in there, though. No 180 this time. And then on the very right-hand side, Duncan texted me after saying that was one of my best peg games. Haha, sorry. Why is it always that everyone in this league, they play their best when I come out? The Mr. 9 Dart podcast guy comes up and they play their best. I don't know how. JP had the same thing to me, but all these guys seem to play well
Stephen
against
Bunting
me.
Had all of last year's Premier League, like the best
That's
performances
right.
were all against him. Littler, Humphreys, they were all pulling out all the stops against him. Clayton couldn't miss the doubles a few weeks ago. It's extraordinary.
So there you go. That was the tail of the tape from that one. Wasn't good enough in the end, unfortunately. We move on to week 7. Again, it's a 17-week tournament, so I still have time to try and push myself up the ladder and try and get a promotion spot. Again, I still don't know how many places will be for promotion. That's to be confirmed. I take on Will Pickering this week, and that should be a good clash, hopefully. I just need to get a win on the board and then just keep trying to maintain some good wins. But I've only had the one win. So what am I now? I think I'm 1-5, I think, or 1, 2, and 4. I think I'm 1, 5. So got some work to do, but I have time to make it up. But I got to get on my skates. That's for sure, mate.
Night 4, Premier League, Belfast. Let's go through it pretty quickly, Josh, because we're already over the hour. Luke Littler, Jonny Clayton, first match of the night. I have not given this much thought at all, to be honest.
Neither have I. No.
I was going to say Clayton just to manifest chaos, but Littler's...
Well, it could happen. He literally won in Glasgow last week, so there's every chance that could happen.
3 Littler. I was torn between 3 and 4. I'll go 3.
I reckon Johnny will keep going on his run. We'll go 6-4 to Clayton. Your man takes on Humphreys next. What do you got for that one?
I kind of want to keep going down this route of picking Bunting 6-5 every quarter final.
Oh my god!
I kind of have to do this now. But I
go for it.
I don't know.
What does your heart say, and what does your head say?
My heart is saying 6-0 Bunting. My head is saying.
What does your gut say?
The heart's saying 6-0 Bunting. The head's saying about 6-2 or 6-3 Humphreys, and the guts is going. Just keep going with what you're doing. 6-5 Bunting.
Which one's it going to be?
I'll tell you what my gut is actually saying is you should be having lunch about now, Lorenzo. So finish this up quickly, Josh.
All right, we'll do. So I will.
It won't actually matter because I'm not tipping either of them to make the nightly final.
Okay. I'll have Humphrey. We'll go 6-2 in that one. Bottom half of the draw. What do you got?
Well, Wagner won't even show up. Hopefully he shows up against Gerwin.
If he shows up.
6, assuming he plays, 6.
Assuming he plays.
3 Price.
Sorry, you just cut out.
6-3 Price.
6-3 Price. Okay. If he plays, I think he'll go back to his little form. We'll go MBG. We'll go 6-3 MBG. The two young guns, Gian van Veen and Josh Rock. Can Josh Rock pick up his first win in this year's Premier League on debut? Will he do it?
6-2 Van Veen. The answer will be no.
Josh. No. Okay. All right. I think after his first 3 nights of being a bit up and down and blaming the soap for his crap performance on night 2.
Throw that one in. I forgot to throw that one in. Yeah, it was the soap.
I just thought about it.
At Antwerp, which was the reason why he was playing so badly on that Premier League night, which is amazing. It's a new unlocked level of things that have gone wrong before a darts tournament.
Come on, man. And then you use wet wipes the next week. That's fine. All right. Anyway, I'll move on. We'll go. I think Rocky will pick up his first win, but I think Van Veen will
go different in all 4 because I'm officially going Bunting 6-5.
That's true.
Continuing to do this bit. So we've got different in all 4. This is what I like, Josh. This is what we need. A bit of
manifesting chaos. All right. Last league decider 6-5 Rocky.
You just know now that one of us is going to go 4-0 and the other one's going to be 0-4. We're not going to split this evenly. Like, one of those realities is going to happen and the other one
interesting.
And because I've tipped bunting, it's more likely to be you. Nightly finals. We're going to have a completely different bracket here. I've been hoping and expecting Letler to turn things around. I think he will do that, and I think it will be done in a repeat of what we saw in Poland. 6-4 Littler over Van Veen.
Okay, interesting. All right, top half, I will say Humphries will go through the first finalist. Bottom half of the bracket, I will go MVG. So Humphries versus MVG, and Humphries will pick up the Night 4 title, and it'll be 6-4. There you go. Those are our predictions.
In the Darts Archive, I talked about Rainbow Marneveld, who was able to secure a 6-6 draw despite being down 6-2 or 6-3, I think it was, against Goan Price. Price missed a few darts to win the match, and Barney was able to produce a great comeback. So a 6-all draw there. This week, Josh, we're going to the ADA.
We are going to the ADA in light of it returning last week, and we'll go to a tense match. Event 2 in the quarterfinal between Carl Schaefer, I got that right, and Darren Penhall. First of 6 link. That's the link there. It begins at 4 hours, 35 minutes, 51 seconds. High quality game. They both average 90, which is really nice. Tense clash, multiple lead changes as well, and then it's a very, very close finish. So give that one a watch at the Silver Sands Tavern for the weekend.
And these are, of course, our platforms. 14 5-star reviews on Spotify.
Yeah, thanks, everyone.
Which is very impressive. Playlist is always up first and is available there on YouTube. And we're available on the TikToks. That's the Extra Time page as well. So give that one a follow, as well as the 9 Dart podcast. So give both of those channels a follow. Right, Josh, that wraps things up. Also note, I did do what I said last week. All of the Dart Archive matches are up on that run sheet of ours. And yes, as I expected, I did repeat that Whitlock Wade semi-final. I did it in about episode 5, I think it was. So
there you
it was a long time ago, to be fair. Any last thoughts before we end the program?
No, just very, very stacked episode, and we'll be officially in the studio next week, all going well for episode 50. It's going to look absolutely stunning, and our viewers will get the first look at it. So I can't wait for that. It looks amazing, doesn't it? Got the TV, got the microphones. It's all very fresh and new. So look forward to seeing that. Great episode.
It's a big space. There's plenty of room to walk around. In the last one, like there was an episode
very squished.
Point where I knocked the camera trying to get back to it, and I was sort of like right on the edge of the frame. If you remember that.
Oh, so yeah, I remember that.
That won't be an issue anymore. There will be as I always said with the old pod room that we had, was I kind of wanted to knock the wall out there on the far side and make it space. This one we have heaps of space. It's a great space. So thank you for everyone who set that up, and a big shout out to Ethan for putting these episodes up on YouTube.
Yes, thank you, Ethan.
Throughout the time we've been doing this online, we'll probably go back online in various points if we need to, but all things going well, we'll be in the studio for the 50th episode. We're going to have to, we're going to do something a little bit special, Josh, for that one. We'll come up with that. We'll think about what we're going to do during the week. This episode will be made available as an audio only in the morning, and episode 50 next week. Not a ton of darts on this week. It's pretty much just the Premier League. I think the JDC might have something on. There might be a few smaller things here and there. But next week, we are going to preview the UK Open.
One of the
best tournaments on the calendar.
Thanks everyone for watching. That was good fun. See you next week.
This has been the 9 Dart Podcast.